Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. And we just got off the phone with Kyle Shanahan with his Monday morning press conference, and he did have some injury updates. So from the game, Aaron Banks is in the concussion protocol along with Jordan Elliott. So both those guys will be in the protocol. Jacob Cowing is still in the concussion protocol. So those guys will be monitored by the league and outside monitoring sources. Team doctors and medical staff are not able to evaluate guys who are in the concussion protocol. Also, from the game, Renardo Green had a neck injury. He's day to day, which is a good sign because a neck injury could be pretty serious. Also, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles is day to day with a knee injury. Now, Dominic Puni suffered a shoulder injury and Diamador Lenore a knee injury. Both of those two guys are going to have MRIs today, and Kyle Shanahan did not have any updates for those two guys coming out of this conference call. Brock Purdy, however, there is good news about Brock Purdy. He did some light throwing once they got back to the facility today. They got in last night, but he did some light throwing today, and he's feeling better than he did last week. So, what happened with Brock Purdy is that he had the MRI on Monday after the game when he started feeling some soreness. The MRI came back clean. He took Wednesday off, went back out to throw on Thursday, did some light throwing, and obviously he threw maybe a dozen or less passes, and then immediately retreated to the training room to have more work done. He had another MRI on Thursday, just in case they missed anything in the first one, and it also came back clean. So he just needed rest. He rested through the weekend. I know if you watched the game, you saw him on the sidelines on the bench next to Brandon Allen, kind of talking to him through the game. But he did throw on Monday, and so they're going to let him rest Tuesday. Wednesday, they're going to try again to have Brock Purdy participate in practice. That is the only practice this week that is open. No, sorry. Wednesday's practice is open. Thursday is closed. And then they will have a short practice on Friday before they travel back to the East Coast for Buffalo. More good news, though, is that Dre Greenlaw's practice window probably will be opened this week. So Dre Greenlaw could return to practice on Wednesday. So that's one thing we'll be looking for when we go to practice on Wednesday. He should return, which is a good sign because they really need help, especially in run defense. Dre Greenlaw is the enforcer. He's very physical. I hope he's feeling good enough to return to the game. But the 49ers have been pretty good about making sure that guys that are they're opening the practice window for, they don't do it, 4 weeks out. They do it with the intention of the guy playing immediately. So it is a good sign that Dre Greenlaw could be ready to play coming up, maybe against Buffalo. Charvarius Ward is doing better. He is, obviously still mourning the loss of his almost 2-year-old daughter, Amani Joy. Kyle Shanahan said he's not pressuring him at all, not pressing or pressuring him. He said, hopefully he'll come out there Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. It's not something I'm pushing him hard or anything like that, trying to go at his speed, but I know how he talked last week and everything. And hopefully he'll be able to take another step forward this week. So he could be out on the field as well. So that's a good thing. Kevin Givens also, he's like number 4 or 5 in the pressures that have been given to opposing quarterbacks, which is crazy because he's been out since week 7. So Kevin Givens, there's a possibility that he could be activated or not activated, but come back to practice this week. So that would be a good sign for the defensive line, which really has needed some help out there. They did have a few pressures. Let's see, let me pull up my PFF. That is not it. Here we go. PFF grades. So pressures, they had, okay, so Leonard Floyd had 2 sacks, 2 hurries. Sam Aquano, 3 hurries. Malik Collins, 3 hurries. Yetur Gross-Matos, 1 hit, 1 hurry. Robert Beal, 1 hurry. And Devondre Campbell, 1 hurry. Not a ton. What's crazy on the defense is the missed tackles. Now, as far as missed tackles go, PFF grades it a little differently than how Kyle Shanahan grades it. PFF has the 49ers with 19 missed tackles. And Fred Warner, Kyle Shanahan did agree that Fred Warner had 4 missed tackles, which is the highest he's ever had since week 3 of his rookie year. So he's only missed 4 tackles twice in his entire NFL career. Once was his 3rd week as a rookie, and once was last night or yesterday afternoon in Green Bay versus the Packers. I did ask Kyle Shanahan about the footing of the field, and he said, yes, it was causing some issues. They were trying to change out cleats to get a little bit better footing. But I mean, like from the first play, kickoff, Jake Moody slipped on the kickoff and ended up being a short kickoff. So there were footing issues, although the Packers didn't seem to be affected by it as much. Um, so, I mean, part of it was that, but Kyle Shanahan has the utmost confidence in Fred Warner. He said, I still think Fred Warner is the man. I think Fred is playing at a high level. I know he had more missed tackles than he's had or think that he's had. And he said it's too much for anyone and way too much for him. Obviously, he can do better, but Fred is still playing like one of the best linebackers in the league. But here's the missed tackles. And I wrote all the PFF grades as always on Monday. That's going to be on our site shortly after I post this video. Fred Warner 4, Jair Brown missed 3, Isaac Yadam 3, Renardo Green 2, Sam Aquano 1. These are all 1 missed tackles. Sam Aquano, D. Winters, Deommodore Lenoir, Kalia Davis, Devontae Campbell, Malik Collins, and Leonard Floyd. 19 missed tackles is beyond too much for a defense. And obviously, you saw it with Josh Jacobs running all up and down the field on them. Josh Jacobs had 106 yards rushing. 83 of Josh Jacobs' yards were after contact. That's crazy. That is not the 49ers defense we have known for so much time. Um, but yeah, so they need to get some things cleaned up. I did ask Kyle Shanahan, is there a disconnect between, the coaching and what's been happening on the field? And he said he doesn't think it's a disconnect, which is kind of what I talked about in my last YouTube thing. Um, let's see, what did he say here? Sorry, scrolling through. Um, he said, I wouldn't say there's a disconnect. I would say, especially in that first half, they got some guys in space and we sat in a chair a little too much versus that running back. And when you come in to a jump stop on that running back, he's going to break your ankles. And he did it to a number of guys. So, because sometimes he was one on one, he's going to win that one on one. Josh Jacobs is. When there's 2 guys, that's what they want. But Kyle Shanahan counted it as 12 missed tackles as opposed to 19, which sounds absolutely awful. They did tighten it up in the second half, but still, after that first half, I feel like there should have been adjustments more like after the first drive, not waiting until the second half. So that's just my opinion. But Kyle Shanahan does agree that it was an embarrassing performance on the field and they need to do a lot better. There was also a question about, what is it going to take to get Samuel going? And Kyle Shanahan said he thinks he has the burst that he needs. He didn't get a lot of opportunities, but when he did have opportunities, they didn't go well. He had that huge return called back for holding. He had a good screen, and some of the plays that he missed the catch on one, and so um, it's not just Debo. He felt like the offense as a whole was inconsistent, and that was part of the failure of the game. So, um, lots of news. Definitely check out NBC Sports Bay Area. I posted 3 stories today. So check those out. Please subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think about all these daily updates we're doing here. I'll try to post some videos from the game and warm-ups. Uh, just a tough loss for the 49ers. They've got to pull it together, and they've got an even tougher game this week against the Buffalo Bills. But maybe Dre Greenlaw will help them out a little bit. But we've been saying that about every player coming back. So we'll see. They need to get healthier and they need to play better. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll give you another update on Tuesday. All right. Bye.